Hello, Bernie here. The blog below you're about to read it covers two things. And firstly, one, I didn't really lose £200,000. It's just an example, which you'll be able to find out about later in the post. But the two things are how we talk to ourselves and also knowing what we're going to do when we sit down to work. And they are very, very simple, but I don't want to accuse you of doing this, but the way we talk to ourselves is so important. Inside our heads, when we're walking around all the time going, oh, I'm shit, what a dumbass, oh, I can't do that, how come Tash is doing that better than me? We're like smacking ourselves around the head with our own insecurities. And somehow through meditation or self-awareness, getting hold of the language you use to ourselves is a gift. Something I've managed to do just through therapy and meditation and tons of stuff like that. And as I became more and more aware, I realized how much this was crushing my self-confidence. And I know that might sound dramatic to some of you, but I wasn't even aware, 5 years ago, I wasn't even aware I spoke to myself like that and how much that affected my mental health. So that's one thing. So I didn't suddenly start jumping around shouting, I'm a tiger, but it was more about stopping it than doing something else instead. But that's what worked for me. And there's lots of stuff that can help you with that. I particularly recommend The Quiet by Susan Cain. Is a great book about self-awareness and the difference between introverts and extroverts. And the second thing is knowing what you're going to do when you sit down. So I'm particularly on this at the moment because I'm doing this 90-day challenge with the Make Your Mark community I'm part of. And I can't understand why it's so hard to write stuff, even though I'm very good at writing and I'm writing non-stop for like 10 years. But I come in and I've got allocated writing time, but I don't know what I'm going to write when I sit down. So I waste like an hour, waiting for the muse to arrive. Whereas I remember talking to Mitch Joel about this, who's a very well-known podcaster. He said you need to be able to write on demand. So when I walk in to the studio, I need to be able to sit down and write. And that's because I've been thinking about it before I got here. And you don't need to get all hyped up about it and, zen out on your commute, but at least having an inkling of like whether you're going to write about 10 top tips for this or a piece about somewhere you've just been. So Rachel Aaron gives this example in her book 2K to 10K. She's a fantasy writer, and after she had her first child, she would sit down and it would take her ages. I can't remember what her word count was in the beginning, but it dropped to 2,000, so that when she had someone to come in and look after her child while she wrote, it took her a while to work out what was wrong, and it's because she didn't know what she was going to write when she sat down. And then suddenly she was back up to 10,000 words a day, which is a prolific word count. So that's what's in this post. Every time we do a post, I'm going to experiment with making these little videos at the beginning of each post because I think they're a great idea. I hope you enjoyed it. We, the royal we, will be posting every week here. There's stuff about how to use story to market your co-working space, and I'm really interested in independent co-working spaces and the communication systems that you may or may not have within that space, and the workflow and the productivity to help you attract the people you want. So that's what's going on here on Bernie J. Mitchell. And there's loads of ways to get in contact on the site. Thank you very much for taking your valuable time to listen to this. Hope you enjoy the post, and I'd be really interested to hear from you if you have any questions or points or even challenges. Have a great day. Take care.